that no matter what you tried, it didn't come up, or something that over time you realize, well, there's just no way that's ever going to get clean. When you've tried everything, or at least everything you knew of or could think of,
Sure.
that's when you are going to be thrilled that you have GP66. And so what we're bringing you today is the Supersized. You're getting 2 supersized bottles of this Miracle Cleaner and Degreaser, and we're just showing you just a few of the things that this will work for. And this is Scott Hine.
So good to see you. Thanks for having me back. Appreciate it.
I'll share with everybody what we're going to talk about really was originally only available kind of in commercial uses. You talk about shops and garages and places where, you know, super duper stains are what they had to take care of. And now we can use this at home.
That's the key. Everywhere else on the planet, it's sold in 55-gallon drums. It cleans 900 million square feet of auto body shops, stadiums, arenas, convenience stores every single night. But here at QVC, you get it in spray bottle format. It's industrial strength. This company's out of Baltimore, Maryland, family-owned company. They do one thing, and they do it great. They make GP66. And I'll show you in a second why that's so important. So what I did here was I put permanent marker on a sealed tile, spray paint on a porous tile. We're going to let those dry for just a second.
Okay.
So now what I want you to do is understand that you'll see this on tile, wood, carpet, pots and pans. It's what you reach for when you've reached for everything else. So here's a sealed hardwood floor. What I'm going to do is, and I've covered this with shoe polish and grease. Way worse than anything to be in your own home, but I did that to simulate the scuff marks, the grime that builds up on your wood floor. What I want you to do is take your Sponge Daddy, today's special value, okay? Because it won't scratch. And what you're gonna do is just go in here and use the GP66, best degreaser degrimer you'll ever see, break down that grease, and then we'll just pull it right through and clean off your hardwood floors. Well, now, not only can you wash it because you've got the Sponge Daddy, but you've brought up all that grease and grime and it hasn't damaged your wood, and that's the beauty of it.
And I'll tell you, looking at this, you probably wouldn't even realize that's what the original wood surface looked like. How many years in your kitchen have you been cooking and all of that grease and dirt has been accumulating? You probably don't even realize what it looks like underneath. This is how you get to it. That's great. Okay.
That's exactly right. So here's that permanent marker we just put on. It's dried now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tilt this. And before I even use the rag, look how it just starts breaking down that permanent marker. So say the kids get a little nuts and, you know, jaw on the couch or get it on their clothes. It's a great laundry pre-treater. So now what I'll do is I'll just use the rag simply to clean up the solution, but it's also going to clean up the marker itself. Now we've got it squeaky clean. You can hear it. And we'll clean up this. And that magic marker, which could have been a disaster, was a very manageable situation, and it's gone for good.
That is fantastic. By the way, you're getting 2 bottles. So this is our super size for you, and the price is under $25. And we do have a buy more and save. So if you'd like more than one, we're gonna take $3 off the price of each set after that first one. Okay,
dry
so
spray paint. Spray paint's dried now. I want you to use Campanelli microfiber that you just saw, best microfiber on the planet.
Okay.
And what you do is you go with this microfiber, you got the scrubbing of the microfiber, but you really need the GP66 to break down that paint. Well, look at that. It takes it right up. Spray paint is about the nastiest stain you can find. You think it's permanent? It's not when you've got GP66. And the thing is, where you use that, and where I've heard so many people say, is they're driving down the road and they're painting the lines in the road. And the paint goes up into the wheel well. That's where Nancy Hornback used it exactly for that 2 weeks ago. And it saved her car. It really did.
Great. That's great. Baked on, cooked on.
So far, tiles, sealed hardwood. Now we're going to pots and pans.
Okay.
So look at this. I have burnt on browning gravy with a blowtorch. Way worse than anything that would be in your own home. But I do that to illustrate the point that GP66 will start immediately breaking this down. I am not using a rag. I'm trying not to spray our cameraman here. I apologize. But look at this. I am not scrubbing. I haven't touched it. It's literally breaking down that stain. The only reason I need a rag or a cloth is simply to wipe up the solution and the rest of the mess. But check that out. It has literally broken it down. Now I'll come through with the rag, and what it'll do is it will restore the shine and the luster of the pot and the pan back to the day you bought it. The only thing I will say to you is if you have pots or pans that are 10, 15 years old, it's not going to exactly look like this. But for day-to-day maintenance of your temptations, of your cook's essentials, nothing better than the GP66.
And again, think about it this way. The last time you had that stain or that problem that you couldn't get out and you thought, oh, I tried everything, this is where you go. If you've got GP66, this is what you reach for. All right, so you're going to show me carpet.
So isn't this great? Now we've done sealed hardwood, we've done porous tile, sealed tile. We're about to do leather, but here we're doing carpet. Look at this. We've taken this carpet, this thick Berber carpet, and soaked it with a combination of soy sauce, browning gravy, mud, and coffee. Again, way worse than anything that would be in your own home. But Leah, this is the original color of the carpet. This is an ivory Berber carpet, and without me touching, without me scrubbing, without me doing anything.
So that's not the color of the spray.
No.
That's the color of the carpet being revealed.
That's not foam. You're exactly right. It's insane how effective this product is. Like I said, it's industrial strength. This company does one thing, and they do it incredible. GP66.
A lot of you are doing the buy more and save. And by the way, can I tell you this for me? Because, and you know, here's what happens. It's sort of the stain maybe that you didn't even realize was there. And then it's so late and you think, oh, now it's never going to come up. You reach for your GP66. We're looking at the interior of the oven. I'm looking at the sink. It works on all of these surfaces.
The nastiest stuff that you need to clean, what you've reached for when you've reached for everything else. You're going outside, all that green yuck and brown yucky stuff that builds up on your siding. I personally moved into my home about 2.5 years ago. I took a bottle of this, put it in a bug sprayer, and sprayed the driveway to get the old owners grease and oil up from their cars.
Right.
Scrubbed it. It worked like a charm. This is, like I said, the worst of the worst stains. You can use this as an everyday cleaner, but wait till you see what it does on brake dust, on the nastiest stuff. This is the way to go.
Okay. All right. So we saw carpet, we saw wood surface, we saw tile.
Yep.
What's this?
Well, the funny thing is, so here's a leather chair. And this is the kind of leather chair you'd see in a salon or maybe in a studio where a lot of people sit and they get makeup, oil, body, you know, that kind of stuff on it. These are all grease-based stains. Okay. So we went around the studio just today, right before the presentation with this rag and cleaned up some of the chairs that were around the studio. That's the stuff that comes out. That's the makeup, the sweat, the body oil that GP66 will take out. But look on the back of this leather chair. This is one of my own, and what I'll do is I'll spray just a little bit of GP66 here, and I'll start cleaning the leather. Look how it brings the leather back to life, and that's the thing. So what's insane about this is not only how effective it is, but how many different surfaces you can use it on, because we're now tile, wood, pots and pans, carpet, leather, and we're not even close to done.
Interior of your car, you know, you find after you've been sitting there for a long time and it's starting to look a little worse. The thing is, and I love that you said, you know, maybe you're happy with your everyday cleaner. This is what you want to have when you need more than that. And that's the reason already over 1,000 of these have been ordered. And remember, we have a buy more and save. $3 off the price if you're getting another set, and maybe you're going to share that with other family members, or you just want to stock up and keep it on hand, but make sure you're ordering today.
Here are the grease screens that are in your hood, your oven hood, or your microwave. So the thing with these things is not only they trap the grease, but the odors as well. So you want to clean them off, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, these things are about $8 or $9 a piece. I mean, they're not cheap. You have to special order them. So you can use the GP66, but watch what happens here when I put it in the water after I've treated with the GP66. That's the grease, the grime, and the odors coming out. So just a few sprays. Now we'll bring this back out.
Look
you
at
brought
that.
it back to new. And not only, like I said, have you cleaned it, you've saved yourself some money, and you've gotten rid of those kitchen odors.
Okay, you got me with that one.
Yeah, that one.
Because I'm thinking of my own, and I'm thinking, oh, I need that right now.
Yeah, it is. It's funny because once you start using it, you start, oh gosh, I love this.
That is
This
good.
one is what sold me. This
Okay.
is when I very first used the product. This is what I loved about it. This is a cabinet door, okay? In your kitchen cabinets, you know they look dull or they look filmy. Well, that's the grease from cooking that builds up. You look at this cabinet door, you think, okay, it looks okay. Like doesn't look like there's a whole lot wrong. Look what happens when I take this clean rag, and you think, why do my cabinet doors look so filmy and yucky, and you know, I don't know why it's looking that way. So you look at it afterward and you think to yourself, okay, Scott, it looks shinier, it looks a little bit cleaner, it looks like the wood came back to life.
Look at all
How about that?
Yeah.
That's smells, that's odors, that's grease that's built up in your kitchen, brings your kitchen cabinets back to life because it's a degreaser and a degrimer.
And that's just it. And the versatility. You've seen Scott do all of these different surfaces, so that's the reason you want to have it on hand, and that's the reason we bring it to you in this big super size. You're getting two of the 32-ounce bottles. All right, so what are we going to do next?
I mean, we can't stop cleaning different things. We've done cabinets, carpet, hardwoods, grease traps. Now we're going into the bathroom. Okay. Your bathroom tiles get soap scum or all kinds of other yucky stuff. Right. Well, what I want you to do is take today's special value, the Scrub Daddy. Get your Scrub Daddy and start scrubbing, okay? So this way, again, you're not using disposable paper towels. You're not using, you know, anything other than something that can be washed. And check this out. Now we're going through and we've cleaned up the grout. We've cleaned up our tiles. We've brought them back to life.
Yeah.
All that junk is gone because remember, all that soap scum is really a grease body oil based stain. This degreases, it degrimes. That's what it does
And I'll
best.
tell you, you know, think about it. Maybe you do this once a month. so that it makes it easier for that everyday cleaning. This is beyond the everyday cleaning. This is what you do when nothing else has worked. So here's what you'll let us know if you want it. The item number is V31230. We do have a buy more and save. We'll take $3 off the price of each set after the first, but you're getting two 32-ounce bottles of the GP66 Miracle Cleaner and Degreaser, and Scott has just shown you a few of the ways you're going to use it. You will be thrilled to have it when you get it at home. Thank you so much.
It's so great to see you, Leah. Thanks for having me back.
You too. I'm gonna get mine and clean those grates underneath underneath my stove. All right. Well, listen. I hope you've enjoyed all the things that we've brought you to help making cleaning a little easier.